You must write your own destiny.
And he did! Well, for a bit. But he's kept a relatively low profile since the show wrapped in 2011. What happened? Tom was new to Hollywood when he booked a 6-episode arc on CBS's Judging Amy. He played karate teacher Rob Meltzer in 6 episodes of the series.
Originally for 3 episodes, and it turned into 6 because of the feedback from the storyline.
You may be wondering, what type of recurring role could a karate teacher play in a legal drama? As Judge Amy's love interest, of course! Welling's character taught karate to Amy's daughter, and his smooth moves in the dojo caught Amy's eye. That's just good writing for you. Welling scored the role of the hunky karate teacher when he was 24 years old, and the appearances led to his starring role on Smallville. Despite his 6 episodes on Judging Amy, his overall lack of acting experience was still pretty obvious in some of the earlier episodes of Smallville. It also meant that Clark Kent became Welling's most recognizable role, making it harder for him to land different parts later on. There are many actors who started out with identifiable early roles on long-running TV shows, but were still able to jumpstart their career in other directions by appearing in movies. But because Smallville relied so heavily on innovative visual effects, Welling spent more time on set than most actors, which left him with little room for other projects. The roles he did appear in include the ill-received horror film The Fog. Remember that remake? It wasn't that good. He also had the role of Charlie Baker in the Cheaper by the Dozen series. Welling wasn't called upon to carry a lot of dramatic weight in any of the roles. After Smallville, the TV series remained the most impressive thing on his resume.
You were the miracle we prayed for. Now the world needs that same miracle.
In a 2025 appearance on Smallville co-star Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast, Welling noted how none of the writers, directors, or producers from Smallville seemed interested in working with him again. Elsewhere in the episode, Welling mentioned an instance when he lost his temper with the crew. He and Rosenbaum also acknowledged that the stress and long hours of filming often pushed Welling to similar breaking points over the course of the series. Justified or not, it's entirely possible that the people running Smallville just saw Welling as someone prone to having a temper and not being easy to work with. And Welling has suggested that this is the reason why they never called him again for other work. As unfair as that is, once an actor gains a reputation for being difficult to work with, that stigma can be very hard to shake.
People want to believe in something greater, and it may be easier to hate. It's stronger to love.
Smallville was so much work for Welling that after it ended, he took a self-imposed 6-month hiatus. He told BuzzFeed, "I needed a break. I needed to figure out what was going on in my head a little bit. There was some adjusting that I needed to get back into real life and to make up for lost time as well. I was like, guys, I'm out of here." I felt like I basically retired, and it sort of woke me up, but it needed to happen. When he did choose to get back into acting, he decided he wanted to be more selective about his roles. He added, "I wanted to play a human, and I wanted to be a part of a film whose theme was bigger than whatever character I was playing. By being on Smallville for 10 years, I was able to make some really fantastic choices with that character. But now I'm drawn to real people trying to live real lives." During those 10 years on Smallville, Welling often felt isolated and disconnected from friends and family. He told BuzzFeed, "I spent 10 years of my life with 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. on set. From an emotional standpoint, I was basically cut off from everyone. I just put my head in a hole and I basically blocked everybody and everything out."
I felt and still feel like I was there to do the work. And that's it.
So after Smallville ended, Welling wasn't in a hurry to jump into another TV show. Movies, which take less time to film and offer more of a break between projects, were more in the lane of what he was looking for. But making that leap is easier said than done. Welling's aversion to the small screen may have led him to turn down potentially lucrative and popular TV roles after Smallville wrapped. After spending 10 years on television, Welling only appeared in 3 films in the first 5 years after the show's finale. The films were the mystery drama Parkland, the sports drama Draft Day, and the Nicholas Sparks romance The Choice. Unfortunately, none of those films resonated with critics or audiences. 2013's Parkland earned a 50% score on Rotten Tomatoes and only made $1.4 million at the box office. 2014's Draft Day did slightly better, earning 60% on Rotten Tomatoes and bringing in a box office haul of nearly $30 million. But 2016's The Choice fared the worst with critics, earning just 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. It wasn't a total box office failure though, grossing just over $23 million worldwide on an estimated $10 million budget. None of the three were impressive enough to stand out and prove Welling's star power outside of Smallville. That may explain why he didn't appear in another film for 8 years. No matter what career you're in, having kids is going to have some kind of impact. In 2019, Welling had his first child with his then-fiancée Jessica Rose Lee. 2 years later, Welling and Lee, who by that point had gotten married, welcomed their second child. With 2 kids at home, Welling's clearly focusing his time and energy on family. He tends to be fairly private about his personal life, with the majority of the pictures of his 2 sons coming from his wife's Instagram account. Welling is clearly making his family and his personal life a priority right now. In 2024, Welling came roaring back with 2 new movies, Clear Cut and Mafia Wars. Did I really say roaring? Is that right? Well, to say that those films didn't exactly reignite his movie career would be an understatement. Not only were both extremely small productions with very limited distribution, but they performed exceptionally poorly with critics. Clear Cut welcomed Welling into the unfortunate club of movies with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mafia Wars, on the other hand, barely got reviewed at all, and the few critics who did weigh in weren't impressed. As of September 2025, Welling hasn't made another movie, and IMDb shows no upcoming projects for him. Over time, it must have become clear to Welling that he was never going to land regular film roles, so he decided to give the small screen another chance. Thus far, it's proven to be a pretty good move. In 2017, Welling returned to television with a recurring stint on Lucifer, playing the character Marcus Pierce for 22 episodes in Season 3. He also reprised the role of Clark Kent for the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths event, which first aired in December 2019. Then, in 2020, Welling not only starred in but was listed as an executive producer on the action series Professionals with Brendan Fraser.
Is that real?
Start talking, or you'll find out.
Finally, 2022 brought a 3-episode stint on the supernatural spin-off, The Winchesters, which appears to be Welling's most recent television credit as of 2025. For a long time, Welling hated being known just for his role on Smallville. During his appearance on the Inside of You podcast, he pointed out that he didn't feel comfortable with how famous Smallville had made him.
My famous celebrity has never worked when I wanted it to.
He went on to add that it wasn't until recently that his Smallville fame started feeling like a positive thing in his life. He needed time to mature, to have some distance from the challenges of making Smallville, and figure out how to navigate the unique slice of fame the show earned him. Though Welling has always tried to keep his personal life private, an incident in January 2025 complicated that mission. Welling was arrested in a restaurant parking lot for suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol. The following May, he reached a plea deal for a lesser charge. The deal resulted in fines, 1 year of probation, and mandatory attendance in a DUI program, with the charges dismissed in June. Even with that fortunate turn, legal problems are rarely a good thing for a celebrity. Once an actor's mugshot is out there, it tends to follow them for a very long time. We've established at this point that Welling had a complicated relationship with Smallville, so it's no surprise that he wasn't doing the rounds at cons back in the day. But in recent years, Welling's perspective has changed. Beginning in 2018, he started showing up at cons here and there. He's met fans, spoken on panels, and engaged with the community. Fans love it when actors embrace their most famous roles, and Welling became a regular on the convention circuit will only strengthen his connection with past, present, and future audiences. In 2025, actor David Corenswet became the latest actor to play the last son of Krypton on the big screen when he starred in Superman. While doing press for the movie, Corenswet was asked who his favorite Superman actor was growing up, and all while hooked up to a lie detector machine.
I think Tom Welling.
Truthful.
Corenswet also said that he feels he and Welling share a lot of physical similarities, while again pointing out that Welling was the main Superman actor during his childhood. This has caused people to go back and rewatch Smallville to re-experience Welling's take on the character. That's only served to reignite nostalgia for Welling's Superman, and as proven time and time again, nostalgia can be a powerful thing. The writers of Smallville resisted the urge to actually show Clark Kent become Superman for almost the entire series. In fact, it wasn't until the literal closing moments of the series finale that the character finally ripped open his shirt to reveal the iconic costume. It was the first time Tom Welling ever suited up as Superman, and he long insisted it would be the only time. Recently, however, Welling has revealed that he is finally open to the idea of fully suiting up as Superman on screen. In an October 2024 interview with Comic Book Movie, he shared a sweet moment he had with one of his sons. Welling explained, "We have a bunch of costumes at home. It started out at the first Halloween, and now we have, 40 or 50 costumes. The one costume we don't have is the Superman costume." I asked my son why, and he said, "Because he's taken." And I said, "By who?" "By you."
That is worth more than any superpower.
That was all it took to finally convince Welling to officially don the Superman suit for a film or TV project, if anyone asks. He continued, "That was like, alright, I think I'm open to the idea now. I think it would be fun to be part of."